I received a few questions about this the other day after posting a picture of it. So a lot of people saw it and they recognized the style as being the same style that was used in the Nintendo NES controllers back from 1983. But no, this is not a controller that's made for a Nintendo. It is just a regular Bluetooth joystick or game controller. It could be used on a PC, you could use it on a Mac, you could use it on an Android phone or even an iOS device. And there's some firmware available that can change the modes that it operates within. But I'm putting up an unboxing video just so that people can see what's in it. So the package is actually, it's not held closed with any tape or anything, but it's in here pretty tight. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. So it's out of the sleeve. And so within the actual box, there you have the unit itself. So let's see what else is in here. So just to comment on the unit, it does charge over micro USB. So it is battery operated. There's some other buttons on the bottom for changing the mode. And then of course there's the gameplay buttons. I do like the feel of this because it does very much remind me of the Nintendo controller back from I think it was 1983. It might have come out later than that. So there's more content underneath this foam. So let's get that out of there. Okay, so it looks like everything else is within the cardboard. Let's see, how do I get this? Okay, I see. Oh, it's open. So they have a manual for it. And this has some of the other information about the other modes in which this will work. I'm not going to open that up just yet. I'll set that aside and let's see what else is in here. So we've got the micro USB cable. Of course, this will also work with pretty much any micro USB that you might use for charging your phone. And let's see, there's another little box in here. And it says, what does that say? Get this in focus. Okay, everything old is new again. 8-bit though. So let's see what's within here. Okay, so it comes with, this looks to be a keychain of some type. And what does that say on it? Can't really tell. FC30? I don't know what that means. Was that written on a box? No, that's not the letters on the box. I'm not sure what that's about. And so then there's this. And what is this? You know, I'm not really sure what this is. This might be something, this part looks like if I were to peel this off, it would be adhesive. But I'm not sure why I would need an adhesive, and this looks like it would fold up, but I'm not sure what this, yeah, it does fold up. So I'm not sure what this is for. It might actually be in the manual, so I'll go ahead and take a look at that. So I'm looking at the manual. It doesn't say anything about what the little adhesive part is. It does show the various modes in which it'll work. So you can select which mode that you are going to use by how you turn it on. So the modes are joystick, in which case it looks like a regular Bluetooth joystick. It can emulate a Bluetooth keyboard. iCade, which I'm not familiar with, but it's something that works on both Android and iOS devices, but that's another mode it supports. For Android rooted devices only, it can also support a touchscreen mode, and if you're using it on a PC, you can just plug in a USB cable and plug it into the computer, and it'll work that way too. So those are the various modes that it works in, and it does also mention that there are some other modes that are coming via extended firmware, but for that, you have to go online and download the firmware, and I think you'd have to use your PC in order to update the firmware. So it shows a button combination to hold down, download the upgrade software. Yeah, so you need either a PC or an OS X-based device. Download the firmware, you put the controller in a specific mode and plug it into your computer, and the firmware will update, and that firmware might expose other modes. So for the life of me, I can't tell what this might be for, because I don't see anything on a controller that really points anything out, and I can't think of why I'd want to have that stuck on there unless it's perhaps for like some type of one-hand operating mode. But I'm not putting this on mine, but that's everything that's in the box. Found out what the adhesive ring is for and why I'm never going to use it. So apparently this can be stuck to the back of your phone, and you can flip it out to use it as a stand for your phone for when you're playing games. I don't like the idea of sticking anything to the back of my phone, so that little piece is just going to stay in a box. And just so you can see this is actually recording, I'm going to try and play this in a little bit of an awkward fashion. So I'm using it to see what these buttons do. Jump, kick, okay, kick, punch, jump, got it. So let's see what we can do with this. And I'm already getting beat up. So you can see that these buttons do actually work. Yep, I press the start button and it goes into the menu. The one thing I will say, I tried this out with a few other games just now. And the one thing I will say, and I'm not going to bother to try and fight anymore, the layout of the buttons can differ from one controller to another. So on this specific controller, it is the B button is down here and the Y button is down here. There are some games where their layout might expect the B button to be up here and a Y button to be up here, so it might be the reverse of this. Now let's turn this down. So that's just something that you need to be aware of. I mean, many games will allow you to also do remapping of the controller buttons to something else. So that's something that's easy enough to work around, but just be aware that if you see a visual representation of a controller on screen, it may not match what you have on the game controller itself. But I tried it out on Double Dragon. I went ahead and tried it out on some other games before I started up this recording, and it works pretty well. So I'd suggest this for anyone that likes playing mobile games. And for those curious as to what this keychain has written on it, it says FC30, which I think might stand for Famicom 30. Famicom was the name of the Super Nintendo system in Japan. Let's see, what does it say? For the happy memory of days old. And so on the back, there's a Nintendo controller in memory of FC. Yes, since July 15th, 1983. So it is 1983 that the Nintendo came out in Japan under the name Famicom.